I'm all in.
What's up YouTube, how you doing? It's Tom Hutch here. So behind me is the capital city of Malta called Valletta. But today I'm going to give you a little tour around the old capital of Malta called Mdina. It's one of my favourite places in Malta. It's really historic. It's kind of like going back in the time machine when you go there. So I'm going to give you a tour around that first. And then this evening we're going to play some more poker, get some more interactive hands in. Alright, let's go for the tour. I'll see you in a bit. Bye. Right, this is Mdina, the old capital of Malta. Just walking around the walls now, but let's go through the gates and I'll give you a little tour around. Right, that's Mdina gate behind me. Do you recognise it from anything? I'd be pretty impressed if you get it, but let's walk through and see if you remember where it's from. Right, did you recognise it from anything? Let me give you a hint.
Fewer eyes back here, my lady. But still too many.
Alright, let me give you a tour around the city. Let's go. One thing about Mdina is it's a bit of a maze. You can get lost really easy with these narrow streets. Like I said, it used to be the capital of Malta. One of the reasons is because it's on a hill, so it has a really good vantage point of the whole of Malta. So let me show you the view, and then we can go for a cake and a coffee. I hope you enjoyed your tour of Mdina. The plan now is to go home for a couple of hours, then head to the casino for some poker. I'll see you in a bit. Right, it's poker time. So since starting the vlog, I'm up 6 sessions in a row, excluding tournament buy-ins. not a huge amount of money, but 6 sessions in a row is quite good. So let's see if we can go for the 7th. I'm going to try and do some more interactive hands. We'll see how it goes. Heading to the casino now. It's really stormy tonight, so hopefully we don't get blown into the sea. All right. Alright then, it's poker time. I'm going to do something slightly different to the last interactive vlog that I did. Basically, I'm going to show you 3 hands in total. H1, H2, and then the interactive hand. For H1 and H2, I want you to make comments on how you would play it, and also I'm going to leave 1 action blank, and I want to see what you would do in that spot. Watch both hands, then pause the video, make your comments in the comments section, and then I'm going to leave exactly what I did in the hand and what happened in real life in the description. Don't look at this unless you want some spoilers. Then after these 2 hands, we'll go for the interactive hand and we'll see what you do in that spot as well. All the hands in this video are fairly similar. They're all from the small blind, which I think is one of the hardest positions to play from, so we'll see how you do. Good luck. Alright then, let's go. So I think because of the weather, the casino wasn't very busy, so we're actually 5-handed here. The whole night was fairly short-handed, to be honest. I actually prefer short-handed play with live poker, so I quite enjoyed the short-handed play. So we bought in for 200, blinds are 1 and 2, and we looked down at ace 7 of clubs in the small blind. The under the gun player, who seemed fairly aggressive, has raised to 7 from under the gun. The next player to act was a elderly Maltese lady, maybe in her 50s. She seemed on the tighter caller station type play. She decides to call the 7, the button folds and the action's on us. Alright, I'm not 100% sure what the correct play is here, so if you want to include this in your H1 analysis, then feel free. Ace 7 suited doesn't really feel strong enough to raise here, but it also doesn't feel weak enough to fold. So I decide to call the raise, out of position. Maybe the wrong play in the long run, but I feel like I can outplay these guys in the flop, so we decide to see a flop. The big blind folds, and we see the flop. The flop comes 7 of spades, 5 of hearts, 2 of diamonds, rainbow. Good flop for us. We flop top, and we check it over to the pre-flop raiser. Pre-flop raiser checks, and the lady also checks, and we see a turn card. The turn comes the 6 of clubs, so completes the rainbow. We still have top pair here. Seat 5 seemed fairly weak by checking the flop, and we don't think seat 7 really could have anything if she checks as well. So we decide to bet €13 into the pot. Seat 5 falls fairly quickly. It's on the Maltese lady, and now she decides to raise to €30 in total. The action's back on us. Like I said before, she seemed like a weak call-y type player, but it's pretty much a min raise here. We still have top pair, top kicker, and maybe she's overplaying something like 5-4 suited, or maybe even 5-8 suited, for example. So we decide to call, and we see a river card. The river comes the ace of spades, which is pretty much our dream river card, I would say. I don't really see any value from leading out here, so we decide to check it over to the lady again. Now she decides to bet €20 into the pot of 83, which was actually smaller than her raise on the turn. So what I want you to do is type H1, and then if you would raise here, and how much would you raise to? And also, what type of hand are you putting her on here? Like I said before, you can also leave your analysis of the hand, how you play it different to me to this stage. But as played, would you call or would you raise on the river? Make your comment now.
Yeah, I was wondering where the corner is at.
Alright, so it's a bit later on in the night. We get ace king of spades in the small blind. We're six-handed now, and there's already been 4 limpers to us. We decide to raise on the fairly big size, make it €14 to call. The aggressive player who'd raised pre-flop in the previous hand decides to call, and the rest of the players fold out, and we see a flop. The flop comes another rainbow flop. It's 10 of diamonds, 7 of hearts, 3 of clubs, and the action's on us. It's a very dry flop, and I think seat 5 could have limp called with a wide range of hands, so I think a c-bet is the correct play here, so we decide to c-bet and bet 22 into the pot. Seat 5, who is a middle-aged Italian man, normally a type of player that I would auto tag as a donk, but he actually seemed like he knew what he was doing here. He decides to call, and calls fairly quickly, and we see a turn card. The turn is the deuce of spades, completes rainbow, and is a total brick, and the action's on us again. So my question to you guys is, do we keep barreling here, do we bet again, or do we check and potentially give up the hand? Leave a comment with H2: what you would do in this spot. Would you bet again or would you check? And also, how would you have played the hand any different to me?
It's too late.
So you save more.
I will check. Get your fingers ready, time for the interactive hand. Alright, it's time for the interactive hand. I know a lot of you guys like this part of the video, so hopefully this doesn't disappoint. If you haven't seen any of my other poker videos, this is the point where I show you the action and you decide exactly what you would do. That's going to load up another video and you will see the outcome of the hand. If you're watching this on your mobile or tablet, the clicking on the screen won't load the other video, so make sure you check the comments or the description and you can click through to the next video using those links there. Alright, so we're in the small blind again. We look down at 2 red 4s, 2 little sailing boats. The fairly tight Maltese woman from the first hand decides to raise to 7 and the cut-off call. So the action's on us. Again, do we raise here or do we just call and see a flop and hope we flop our set? I decide just to call the raise to flop our set. The big blind calls as well and we see a flop. The flop comes ace of diamonds, jack of hearts, 4 of spades, so we flop our dream set, and inside I'm like this.
Oh boy!
Scott Seaver wins the pot.
He's doing his Umberto impersonation here.
In my opinion, pretty much the best feeling in poker is flopping a set. And even after playing the game for 12 years, I still get that funny feeling inside when it comes down. We decide to check over to the pre-flop raiser, and she bets €19 into the pot. The cut-off folds and the action's back on us. It's such a good flop for our hand and a fairly safe board. I don't really see any need to raise here. I think we can get max value from ace king on later streets if that's what she has. So we decide just to call and the big blind folds. And we see a turn card which comes the king of spades. I think at this point we can start building up the pot. So we go for a check raise, we check to her, but unfortunately she actually checks back and we see a river card. The river comes the queen of clubs, brings 4 to a straight. Like I said before, she seemed like a fairly tight player. I don't think she's really raising pre-flop with a 10 very often. For example, I think she would have probably limped with jack 10 or queen 10 or even king 10. Maybe she raises with ace 10 or pocket 10s, but there's not many 10s in her range, I don't think. I decide to lead out here, bet €50 into the pot, hopefully getting value from an ace, a big ace like ace king or ace queen or even ace jack that she's tried to slow play. Unfortunately, she doesn't think very long before raising to €145. €95 more for us to call. So my question to you guys is, do we call here or do we fold? You're going to get 2 options, call or fold. You need to click on which one you would do in real life. Good luck.